I'd like to introduce someone who's also my good friend, Jesus Mantas. He is Chief Strategy Officer and Managing Partner for GBS Ventures at IBM Global Business Services. Jesus, please join me. Go get him.
I don't know what you were doing in October 1994, but for me, October 1994, the entire world changed. That was the month also when I learned about diversity and inclusion in a very personal way. That Monday afternoon, October 10th, 23 and a half years ago, I landed for the first time in my life in the United States to fulfill my dream of working as a management consultant for an American firm. Before that October, all my life growing up in the south of Spain, I was like everyone else. We had the same religion, looked similar, spoke the same, behaved the same. The few occasions that I was exposed to anyone that looked or sounded different than me, I was always on the side of the majority. I was always on what was considered normal. And in that environment, I was very successful. I started working as a technology consultant in Spain at the age of 13. And as a young entrepreneur, I earned enough to help my education. I won a European award at the age of 19 based on a paper that challenged Einstein's time-space theory. I finished with top honors my thesis to apply neural networks to speech recognition at the age of 23. And I was an officer in the Air Force of Spain at the age of 24. So that October, when I landed in the US, I was confident. It was just one more place where I would figure things out as I had done before. Unfortunately, that enthusiasm didn't last long. After just 4 weeks in the job, I was told that I had made a terrible mistake. I was told by my boss and my client that in their view, I would never succeed in the area of consulting in this country. I couldn't speak English well. I looked and sounded different, and yet it was hard to fit me into the many Hispanic stereotypes. I was encouraged to change my name to Jay or Jesse, since a name that spells Jesus sometimes was very uncomfortable. This was the first time in my life that I felt diversity from the other side of the equation. I was now in the minority side, in the discriminated side. I was the one that was different. On my capabilities, my prior success, it was invisible. So I learned. I learned to be judged by how I looked and how I sounded. And I struggled to make the choice that every day this environment was presenting to me. Do I want to be authentic, or do I want to fit in? I did okay for 3 years, and eventually moved on to a different environment in a different organization that believed in me sometimes more than I believe in myself, and embraced diversity as a strength. And thanks to that, my journey continues to this moment. So back to today. By now, you've figured out I did not follow the advice. I did not leave the US. I did not leave consulting. And I did pretty well after all. This odd kid that could not speak the language and would never succeed in consulting became the global leader of one of the largest consulting organizations in the world. And to achieve that, I did not have to change my name. And still, that very personal struggle, it's one of the most humbling experiences in my life, and it has shaped my belief in diversity inclusion. So this is the I believe section. Let me share with you what I believe. So I believe, to start, that diversity and inclusion is as much an individual choice as it is an organizational value. Of course, I believe that working in an organization that supports diversity and inclusion matters. But believing is personal. Organizations can't believe for you. Organization can help you, they can remind you, and they can provide you the support systems. But the believing is up to you. I'm fortunate to work with Deb in IBM in a company where diversity and inclusion is a strategy, not a consequence. We have frameworks, promote behaviors, create habits that make it clear that we as an organization believe in diversity and inclusion. Our actions showcase those beliefs through our support in STEM education, Hispanic leadership development, relentless support on PTech School, choosing to advocate for our 30 dreamers working today in IBM, or making a stand on bathroom bills. So that's my belief. I believe that diversity and inclusion is not only morally right, but also a smarter choice, as Deb said. It is a belief, and it is my experience, but it's also science. Think about biology. Homogeneous species become fragile, rigid, and they're subject to potential extinction, especially in periods of big change. Diverse species adapt, learn to shift with the changing conditions. So in today's world of exponential change, diverse teams working in agile scrums, debating different points of views, are stronger, perform better, and are more resilient. Better performance, better ideas is better business. So diversity and inclusion is a smarter way to sustain innovation. I also believe that diversity and inclusion used to be a footnote, and it is a footnote no more. It has become a headline in both personal and organizational agendas as we navigate this pivotal moment in society where humans are training technology to achieve a new level of human condition. See, diversity and inclusion will impact how humans and technology work together. And we're the generation that started this new era. And we must understand how diversity will impact this technology. Right now, you're seeing it in all of this event. We are training artificial intelligence systems to partner with us and help us cure diseases, solve world hunger almost literally with smart food supply chains, and learning for every person in the planet. These AI systems are developed and trained, and those trainings and those people biases will be transferred to the technology. So once again, diverse organizations will develop and train better artificial intelligence systems with less biases than the systems trained by non-diverse, non-inclusive organizations. So with people and with AI, again, diverse, inclusive teams will win. So let me wrap up with my final belief. I believe that you can embrace and participate in diversity and inclusion no matter whether you're in the majority or the minority side of that equation. And you will find yourselves in both sides, as I did. When you're in the minority, be authentic, be yourself. Find the October 1994 in your journey. It worked out for me, and I'm a better version of myself for it. And when you find yourself in the majority side, engage people who think different than you, who look different like you. And in both cases, find your inspiration and make a habit to look for opportunities to practice inclusion. Allow people around you to be their best selves, and in turn, you will benefit from it. Because at the end, we're all that small child with dreams that someday grew up to be something. You may not be able to change the world, but we can all choose to be ourselves. You just have to choose to believe. Thank you.